So here is a Honda that is said to be rugged and off-road, hanging out in an off-road type atmosphere. Looks pretty cool, doesn't it? The only thing is that not many buyers of this Honda will ever go off-roading. They will most likely use it as their family SUV and for their trips to their local Costco. But Honda is looking to change all that very soon. My name is Omar and this is the 2022 Honda Passport Trailsport. You know, every time I test drive an off-roading SUV, I always talk about how people buying these off-roading SUVs will never take it off-road. And I guess that's because I hang out with a bunch of wimps, including me. See, the thought that the off-road vehicle market is dying off is completely wrong, and it's wrong of me to assume that just because of my lack of off-roading skills and experience and because of my boring friends that are really catching some heat in this video. Because according to Research and Markets, it's a company that does surveys and researches things. The global off-road vehicle market was valued at $14 billion in 2020, and it is anticipated to reach $18 billion by 2026. That's insane. So when Honda aims to do the off-roading thing, their head is in the right place, they just aren't there yet. But before we talk about what Trailsport is exactly, let's talk about what's new for the Passport for 2022. And to be honest, there isn't much at all besides the fact that the new Passport features a more aggressive exterior from the A-pillar and forward. It's got a more aggressive front end with a really bold grille, and I really like it. I think this looks much tougher than the outgoing Passport, which actually looked pretty boring. You get a slight, and I mean very slight, update to the rear styling with a new bumper and a dual circular exhaust, and that's really about it. But the coolest and newest thing for the 2022 is the addition of the Trailsport trim. Now, Honda is in the middle of launching the new Trailsport trim, and you'll see it on the Pilot, the Ridgeline, and this, the Honda Passport Trailsport. So what does the Trailsport give you to help you go off-roading in a better way? Well, not much, to be honest. As standard, the Passport Trailsport gets the iVTM4 torque vectoring all-wheel drive system as standard. You can also get that on other Passport trims. You get a bunch of drive modes that you can also get on other Passport models as well. You can circle through them by clicking this button right here with a picture of a Passport doing some off-road stuff. And you can circle through normal, snow, mud, and sand, and each of one of them has a really cool graphic to go along with it. Honda says that the front and rear track widths have been increased by 10 millimeters to improve stability, which is really just 0.4 inches, so it's not that much more stable, I guess. Ground clearance is the same as all other Passport models at 8.1 inches. You get these machined 18-inch wheels with tires that look rugged, but won't really do rugged things. Other than that, it's mostly just visual. You get a stronger and tougher looking version of the already aggressive grille. You get a more off-road looking Passport with a front and rear bumper that includes skid plate designs, but not real skid plates. It's just a visual thing and they're just painted silver, but they're not real skid plates. And then you have a bunch of orange Trailsport logos all over because orange will be Honda's off-roading color. You have a Trailsport badge right here on the front. You also have a Trailsport badge right here on the back. The Passport and the all-wheel drive badges have been blacked out instead of the chrome style you get on other trims. Inside, you have an orange Trailsport logo embroidered into the headrest. That looks really nice. You also have orange Trailsport logos on the rubber floor mats. And then you have orange stitching all around, and you also have some light dim orange ambient lighting at nighttime to bring that whole orange off-road feel home. So yeah, for now, the Passport will continue to do light off-roading like it always did without a problem. However, Honda does say that the Trailsport badge will evolve in the next models, meaning you'll have real skid plates, real capable off-road rugged tires, and some more serious off-roading equipment. And I'm pretty sure it will be nothing less of impressive because Honda is not afraid of getting dirty. They have a legendary off-road background that includes desert racing in the Ridgeline, and even the Passport does some rally competition. So how is the Passport as a daily driver as it currently stands? It's still powered by a 3.5 liter V6, making a strong 280 horsepower and 262 pound-feet of torque. And while this engine has been around forever, and I mean forever, it still delivers solid performance for the vehicles that use it, which include the Honda Ridgeline and the Pilot. The VTEC V6 plays really well with the 9-speed automatic transmission. The shifts are very smooth no matter which mode you're in, so you don't feel any jerkiness. And even though this thing weighs over 4,200 pounds with the iVMT4, VTM4, whatever, torque vectoring all-wheel drive system, this will do 0 to 60 in 6.1 seconds, which is impressive, but I thought it would be quicker since that's almost the same as a larger Pilot. But going 60 on the highway, and if I just step on it, it moves. You do hear a little bit of the engine noise coming into the cabin. That's expected in this segment. But once you're at cruising speeds and you're relaxing, it's pretty quiet in here. The ride quality is very smooth, and it's very similar to the Honda Pilot, although it doesn't feel as big to drive, obviously. It glides over bumps and imperfections on the road with a lot of ease. Yes, this isn't as tough as the Toyota 4Runner off-road, which this kind of competes with, but the lack of those off-roading chops and regular tires that look rugged give this a much smoother ride quality. Fuel economy wise, if you go for the all-wheel drive Passport, you're gonna get 19 miles per gallon city and 24 miles per gallon highway. I'm averaging, after a few days of driving, a total of 17.2 miles a gallon, and with current gas prices, even that hurts because I put $40 regular in this the other day and it was almost at empty, and I got just a little bit over half a tank, so I can only imagine what a full tank would cost, probably closer to $75 or so. Now, we've already discussed the exterior of the new Passport quite a bit, but what about the inside? Well, inside it remains largely unchanged. Nothing new or nothing too fancy here at all. I honestly can't wait for the next generation Passport, and I'm hoping that it will get a lot of what we've seen in the new Civic. And I'm guessing it will be similar to a lot of what we've seen in the new Honda HR-V in Europe. Apparently, our HR-V will be much different than the ones that you're seeing in Europe right now. That said, while this interior is pretty basic, you do have high quality materials throughout this cabin, which you expect from Honda. Everything that you can touch and feel is soft touch, but there are some hard plastic areas like near the glove box and lower trims. And since this is an SUV, you have a ton of storage. You obviously have door pockets, but you also have this other area right above it where you can throw in your phone or your wallet. You have this section underneath the climate control. It's kind of tiny, and that's probably where you will put your phone if you're not wirelessly charging it. By the way, wireless charging is standard in the Passport. But the best storage area in the Passport has to go to the center console. This thing is massive. Just take a look at it. I was able to fit my iPad, my MacBook, and my big bottle of water in here at the same time. This is huge. However, I did notice that there's not much storage in the second row, which was kind of weird. By the way, after driving this around for a week, I totally didn't realize how comfortable it is to have a separate armrest right here. It makes for a very comfortable drive, and you can actually adjust the height of it. Speaking of comfort, the Passport doesn't disappoint there at all. You have a very spacious cabin with a lot of room and very comfortable seats. Let's take a closer look. One of the best things about the Passport when it comes to space is the rear legroom. You have a total of 39.6 inches of room back here. It is massive. I'm about 6 foot tall. That is my seating position. As you can see, I still have plenty of room. The passenger seat is a little forward, so you have even more room there. This is a very, very comfortable and very spacious second row. Not to mention, the second row seats are just as comfortable as the front row seats, so you can sit here during a very long road trip and be comfortable and relax at the end of your trip. As far as cargo capacity goes, you can pop open the trunk again just by hitting this button right here. Once it's opened, you get 41.2 cubic feet behind the second row. And with the second row folded, you have a massive 77.7 cubic feet, so you could fit basically anything back here. Not to mention, you have more room under the cargo floor, so that's pretty nice. So if you need more room for your groceries or putting a milk carton back in that little hole, you can. And you can also fold the second row seats right from back here. Just click this button and the second row seat will fold down very quickly. It's not automatic, it's manual, but it's quick. Now, what about pricing, tech, and what do you get as standard with the Honda Passport? Let's break it all down. Ooh, Hyundai Ioniq 5. How is your charging experience at Electrify America? I have been hearing a lot of strange stories about that. Unlike the Honda Pilot, which is available like in a million trims, the Passport is only available with 3. The EXL starts at $37,870, a few hundred more than the Pilot. The Trailsport starts at $42,470, and the Elite, the top of the line model, starts at $45,430. But you don't have to go all out because all Passports come packed with a pretty impressive list of standard features. On the outside, you get 20-inch wheels as standard on the EXL. The Trailsport gets these 18-inch wheels, and the Elite gets fancier 20-inch machined washed wheels. Roof rails get added on the Trailsport and the Elite. All Passports get LED projector low beam headlamps. The Trailsport and the Elite get LED fog lights. On the back, you have LED taillights and these cool circular dual exhausts. You also get a power tailgate or liftgate or whatever you want to call it. The Elite will give you the hands-free kick to open tailgate if you want to, kick to open your tailgate. or liftgate, or whatever you want to call it. Hop inside and you get leather seats, which is pretty nice actually. The driver's seat is 10-way power adjustable as standard, and you have memory seats for the driver. The passenger seat is also power adjustable, 4-way power adjustable. The front seats are heated as standard on all trims. If you want ventilated seats or a heated steering wheel, you'll have to go for the top of the line Elite model. Although all Passports come standard with this leather wrap steering wheel, which is pretty nice to hold. And then all Passports also get a one-touch power moonroof as standard, and they also get tri-zone climate control, 2 zones for the front and 1 for the back. I always have to keep my temperature synced, so I don't really care about dual zone or tri-zone. Now tech-wise, you get an 8-inch touchscreen display as standard on all trims. You also get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto as standard. Navigation gets added on the Trailsport and the Elite. And all Passports come standard with a somewhat digital instrument display. You've got a lot of info, but it's not that exciting and colorful and graphical. You get a 7-speaker sound system on the EXL and the Trailsport. The Elite gets an upgraded 10-speaker sound system. And here is something that not all models in this segment will give you. The Passport, all trim levels, come standard with a wireless charging tray for your phone. Pretty cool. Driver assist tech-wise, you get the Honda Sensing suite of safety tech, which includes adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist. You also get a rear view camera with multiple angles, but you can't get a 360 camera on any trim of the Passport. You also get collision mitigation, blind spot monitoring, road departure mitigation, parking sensors, and more. Now, before I give you my final thoughts on the Honda Passport Trailsport, let me point out a few random important things that I'll have to show all of you. Here are what the keys look like to the Honda Passport Trailsport. Just like every other Honda key, you have lock, unlock, remote start, trunk release, and your panic button. I like these keys, they're nice and light. Door open and close sound from the outside and from the inside. Solid indeed. When it comes to the charging game, again, it's awesome that you get a standard wireless charging pad right there. You have a USB-A port and a cigarette lighter charger right there. You also have a USB-A port and a cigarette lighter charger right there in the center armrest. And then my rear passengers are working with 2 USB-A ports and a regular household outlet. That is really cool. It is now time for an indicator and horn sound test, this time here with the 2022 Honda Passport Trailsport. Indicator first. Same old Honda indicator. Now for the horn sound. Oh yeah, that is good. So do I recommend the Honda Passport? Yes, definitely, but keep in mind that this carries a higher starting price tag than the Honda Pilot, a whole $290 more. The base Honda Pilot Sport will give you everything, including Honda Sensing, heated front seats, the touchscreen display with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, and all of that. What it won't give you is leather seats, a power moonroof, a power tailgate, and some other things. Now, if you want to compare apples to apples, the Honda Passport EXL, which is the base trim in the Passport, compares to the Honda Pilot EXL, which is the next trim level above the Sport. But as I was driving this around for the week, I asked a bunch of people that own 3-row SUVs if they ever use a 3rd row. And most of them said no, they usually just keep it folded. Which makes me think that you don't need to be a pilot flying a 3-row SUV, you just need a Passport and drive a 2-row SUV. Okay, that was pretty corny. Sorry for that. But yeah, I really enjoyed driving the Passport around for a week, and I highly recommend it if you need something larger than a Honda CR-V, but something not as large as the Pilot. As for the Trailsport part of it, the Passport is already great for light trails and light off-roading, especially thanks to the VTM4 torque vectoring all-wheel drive system. But Trailsport doesn't really add any additional capability. And hey, Honda isn't hiding that. They are saying that they will offer more serious off-road capability next year, and they aren't hiding the fact that this is just, you know, kind of like an off-road looking package. For now, you can just tell other Passport owners that you see on an off-road trail, like, hey, I look cool and rugged while being able to do the same things that you can. Either way, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, make sure you follow me on Instagram and on TikTok. My handle is @OmarDrives. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Peace. And if you enjoy my reviews, and if you enjoy cars, and if you have friends that enjoy cars, share my videos with them. And if you know anybody that's looking for a 2-row SUV, share my video with them as well. And if you thought that Pilot Passport joke was corny, you should have seen my original intro for this video. I was gonna walk around it, you know, going, hey, what vehicle is this? And then you would see my Passport taped to the back of it. That would have been even worse.